you. So we're starting a new session, and as it goes live, then I'm just going to do a quick intro, and then we'll drop back to you, and then talk about whatever we'd like.
Yeah, well, I've just got some notes here. I'm not going to do any slides or anything. I think we only had 15 minutes, so
yeah, that's okay. No, I appreciate you taking the time as well in this, Dave. I know you're a busy guy, so thank you for doing this.
I'm excessively productive. I don't do busy.
Oh, okay. Excessively productive. Love that. That sounds like a Clarism. If I
pretty close to it,
yeah. Pretty close. Come on. You invented that word, didn't you?
Yeah, no, buddy of mine did. I just embellished it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's close enough. All right, cool. So welcome back, everybody. We're here for session number 72, I think. No, not quite. We're about session number 13 or 14. I've got a lot of these scheduled, and it's been a really exciting day. I've been able to talk with people from around the world for the last 6-7 hours, I think, and I've got about 6 or 7 hours as well. So Dave, if you want to join me later, you're more than welcome to come in, but no worries if not. I know you have some other activities, as you said.
Yes.
How did you call it? Excessively productive?
Excessively productive.
Excessively productive. There you go. Excessively productive activities. So yeah, anyway, so we're about halfway through. Been speaking with some amazing people. So thanks everybody who has joined us. And now what we have is coming up, we have Dave Clare, who's joining us right now. And then in the next 30 minutes, we also have Tim Ellis, who's joining us from England, from the founder of the Transformation People as well. And these are the people we've been talking to. So if you've been watching on live stream, thank you so much. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your feedback as well. We have a lot more speakers to come, but let's get right into Mr. Dave Clare, all the way from Perth, Australia, who is a fellow Canadian.
Yeah, I kept 2 Canadians living in Perth, West Australia.
Yeah, how weird is that?
The world.
We brought the world to them. Yes, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, let's say I appreciate the opportunity to jump on and talk about strategy. Primarily, strategy is one of the components of the things that I'm most passionate about in the work that we get to do with clients from a leadership, culture, and strategy kind of a concept. And I just had some really strong thoughts and opinions around strategy in the world today, and I thought it was really cool just to bounce those ideas around and get grilled by you on questions, and anybody who's got any online questions to throw them at us. And so I don't know, man, how you want me to do this? Or you want
let's just sorry, maybe just a quick little intro. Who is Dave Clare?
Okay.
And besides, because we know you're from Perth and we know you're from Canada, so that's 2 things. But yeah, who are you?
Well, I'm a proud dad of 3 amazing human beings, and I'm a husband of the year for at least 13 out of 15 years. And so those are the 2 most important things.
Good.
But I'm a practitioner. I refer to myself as a practitioner in most things that the work that we do in the world. Doyle, we everything I've done in the work, the processes, and everything we develop, the work we do with our clients, philosophies. Yes, we appreciate we stand on the shoulders of giants and learn from those before us. But the work that we've done has all been from being a practitioner. I've led organizations, I've run businesses, private, public, not-for-profits. We're not academics. We're practitioners in that sense. We value wisdom, which is learned from experience. And about 5 years ago, I did a case study with 25 business owners and leaders over a period of 4 months to really understand how we could be of best of service to those organizations. Wanted to make sure that we could remain relevant in the hearts and minds of the people that we wanted to serve and the small business owners in the world. And so the best thing to do is go do a case study with them. And so I spent 4 months with 25 business owners and leaders from different organizations, shapes, industries, to really study them, get in their kitchens and their engine rooms. And then that formed what is now Circle Leadership today, and our business evolution roadmap, and our business, Next 90 business evolution system was all the learnings from those case studies. And when we did those case studies, it was really cool, Doyle, because we found out each organization had different challenges, but there were 4 common challenges in every single organization that we surveyed. And those 4 challenges were very simple, which was, and I'm sorry, I just share this because this is really what Circle Leadership is all about, right? So the first challenge was lack of clear goals and expectations across the organization. So we're here to talk about strategy, right? And one of the biggest challenges that every business had, it's not that they didn't have a strategy or they didn't have goals or expectations, but there was a lack of clear goals and expectations across the organization. Not everybody was on the same page. The second challenge that they had, there was actually no accountability, or not no accountability. Let me rephrase it. Lack of a system of accountability within the organization. So even if they did have a strategy, there was no system for accountability to that strategy in the organization. The third thing is, and here's really interesting, is that there was no alignment between culture and strategy in the organization. And the fourth thing that came out of that was a lack of leadership depth and strength within the organization. So lack of clear goals and expectations, a lack of system of accountability, no culture and strategy alignment, and no leadership depth or strength in the organization. Every single one of those organizations, so the 25 things over the 4 months, these are the things that came out to be common in all organizations. So
when did you do the study, Dave?
5 years ago.
Okay. And do you think that would still reflect nowadays as well, or even more so?
I still speak to people today and ask them that exact same question, and they say, yep. Yeah, geez, that's our problem. Like when I go to meet new clients or I'm referred to people, obviously not with our clients we're currently working with, but other businesses, 100% is still there. And once again, when you think about purpose, why you do what you do won't change, but how and what you do can and will always change. So will that problem always need to be solved for organizations? Yes, especially as new people come in, organizations evolve, their business shifts, things change, generations change. All the stuff that's happening around us, Doyle, that businesses today are struggling to even keep up.
How do they know that they're suffering from those 4 conditions? Like sometimes they're not necessarily clueless. I didn't want to use the word clueless, but you don't actually see it, right? As a business, it's hard to diagnose things. You don't really understand how the pieces fit together. So how does a business come to the realization it's like, oh, wait a sec, this isn't working, or there's something wrong. It hurts down here, and I'm not sure why, Dr. Dave.
Well, then that's a great point there, because what they do know, it's not that they're clueless. What they do know is they have symptoms, but they don't know what the underlying cause is to those symptoms. And so when we pare it all back, and I start asking questions about, just about the team and who knows what, where's power, where's information, who are you accountable to as the leader? What do you, and I said, they go, well, I don't have any of that. We don't do that either. Why would they know that? Well, this is why you're experiencing these things, because this stuff isn't happening. And we get down, and it's kind of like digging underneath the surface so they can get to the cause of those things. And then there's also the emotive causes, like why are you not sharing the strategic plan of the organization with, getting everybody on the same page? Why does everyone not know what the goals are, and why do we think that they don't need to know? Why are you not getting people involved in the work, involved in decisions about the work? Why are you just telling everybody what to do? Why are you not tapping into the latent talent and abilities of your team? Why are you not? And and so that is why, because they see the symptoms, but they haven't been able to label it or attach it to the cause. And so when we start going like, oh yeah, well, if I had that and everybody knew that, well, that'd be a lot easier. If they did this, well then, okay, well, how do we do that? How do we put those frameworks in place then that allow our people to freestyle within the framework? And so I can control the framework, not the work within the frame.
Mm-hmm. Right? But do they show up as like what would be some of the symptoms then? Like people leaving, for example?
Yeah.
It's hard to get people, obviously financial, bottom line, cash flow,
some of the fundamental, the most obvious ones, Doyle, are either good people are leaving and they can't retain their talent that they have, but one of the most fundamental ones is that their business is plateauing, so it's not getting anywhere. I mean, most people we deal with are very successful business, in terms on paper, they're doing really well, but they just can't get it to move anywhere. And so the business is plateauing, but the challenge is what it is they're working longer and harder just to keep it where it is definitely one of the things when you start looking at it, they're going, business is still going good. I'm still doing, like $10 million a year. We've been doing that for the past 4 years. And I said, are you working more hours to do that or less hours to do that? Are your team working longer and harder to do that, or are they working less hours to do that?
And what's the answer usually?
The answer is usually, well, no, we're still working longer and harder, and I have to do this stuff. And,
Yeah.
So what if you could actually achieve more with less? What if you could actually There's two ways to get greater results in life and or business. One is to work longer and harder than you ever have, which means you have to start stealing capacity from the beginning of your day or the end of your day, or add more people to your organization and make your organization more cumbersome. Or you can actually shift the way you think about business and look at the way you do things and challenge the way you do things differently.
And so what is the answer then? How do you actually fix them?
Well, they fix themselves. What we do is we facilitate them through a system or process on how to evolve themselves to stay relevant. So what we do, one of the things, and this is where it comes to strategy, and one of the notes I wanted to really highlight here is when a lot of people think about their strategy, Doyle, we challenge you that not only do you need to, in today's crazy ass world, you not only need to rethink your strategy, but you also have to rethink the way you think about strategy. Okay, it's no good just coming up with a new strategy. You got to rethink the whole way you think about strategy as a whole for your organization. That's the first thing. Second thing is you have to understand the difference between growth and evolution. Because there's so much talk out there about grow your business, grow your business, grow your business, right? And there's so many people who are growing out of business. They're growing into obscurity, they're growing into relevance. Because growth is about being more of what you are for more people. How do we be more for more? Right? So how do we create more capacity to serve more people? And once again, then you need to add to your business to be able to give more from your business. So what we challenge people on is, I'm not saying growth is bad, but when it's only growth, you're at risk of definitely growing into obscurity or relevance. If the market changes, if a disruption comes along, a pandemic comes along, whatever it might be, a shift in anything in the market, your business may not be able to adapt or move fast enough to keep up. So what we talk about is helping them understand that you need to make evolution the natural state of your business and have growth spurts within that evolution. Okay, because evolution, where growth is about being more, evolution is about becoming more. So what we want to do is how do we actually steadily and progressively help you increase your capabilities and your capacity for greatness, right? So you're adding to the capabilities of your organization, which increases your capacity. Add to the capabilities, increase your capacity. Add to your capabilities, increase your capacity. When you don't increase your capabilities, you retain the existing capabilities and stay there. And you only got so much capacity. And then you either start stealing from your family, your life, your health, your well-being, whatever it is, to work longer and harder just to keep it where it is, Doyle. I don't know if any people want out there who want to live like that or in business like that and how attractive that is. And people go, hey, let's go to this place where I can work my ass off and give up on all my family life. Just, we wonder why perhaps there's a great resignation or great realignment or great whatever you want to call it happening today. And why is there a war for talent today? Why is all this stuff happening now?
Yeah. So it's so what you're saying is that it's a constant state of change and we have to know how to evolve kind of constantly as well to realize that.
Yeah, you need to make evolution the natural state of your business, which will have growth spurts within.
Yeah.
Right? And if you go back to Darwin theories, it's quite simple. Like Darwin theories suggest that it's not the fastest, the fittest, the strongest, whatever the most intelligent of the species that survives. The species that survives, and I've adapted it a little bit, is the one that adapts to its ever-changing environment, not just to its changing environment. Our environment is ever-changing, Doyle. Right? They're talking about, and whether the science or but if you think about it, the concept of it makes sense. Everything that Queen Elizabeth saw in the 96 years of her life, the last 96 years, we're going to get that rate of change, all that amount of change in the next 10 years. That's what they're predicting. All the futurists are predicting that the last 100 years we're going to get in the next 10 years. So if you imagine everything that was invented, created, imagined in the last 100 years, heck, even if we got it in the next 20 years, Doyle. And if your organization is not keeping up with the rate of change in the world today, and you're lagging behind that now, and that's just going to accelerate, and you're only working on growth, well, as soon as at the rate things are going to move and things are going to turn and move quickly, if you're not able to adapt and improvise and all the things you need to do on the fly, an ability to respond, to be proactive, to anticipate, you're not only going to get left behind, your business is going to die. And so bad businesses will not survive going forward. Good businesses might survive, but great businesses will evolve. And if your strategy isn't set up to help, is not an evolutionary based strategy, you're going to be left behind. If you just have a growth based strategy, it's a short term thinking, not a long term thinking. you're not going to survive. If you're not anticipating the future needs of your clients, then you can anticipate not having future clients. And I'm always looking at my customers' customers. I'm looking, what's happening to my customers' customers or my clients' clients. And I want to go, what's happening in their world? Because that's going to impact our clients' world. How can we help our clients do that so we can evolve and stay relevant in the hearts and minds of the people we choose to serve? So here's the best way businesses can do this, Doyle, because I appreciate we're probably getting close on time. Most people are really working on their business or in the business. We always tell you, working in the business or working on the business. What we help our clients do is we get you out of the business, right? We want you to work out of your business and not so you don't have to be in your business. But there was a study done of astronauts, right? And they said when they went into outer space and they could see the Earth from way out in outer space, right? And they looked at Earth. And then when they came back down, they had a whole different perspective on Earth because they'd seen it from so far out, right? So one of the things that we challenge business owners and leaders to do, and anyone listening to this, if you're thinking about how do I create this evolutionary strategy, it's quite fundamental actually, is if you and I wanted to start a business, let's pick a business, Doyle, any business that's out there today.
Farming.
Okay, great. So if we look at the farmers in our area and we're going to start a farm, okay, we're going to start an agricultural business. Let's go across the road to the other paddock on the other side. What farm would we need to build that in that paddock there that would put that other farmer, take their market share away or possibly put that other farmer out of business? Not what they have to do wrong. What would we need to build that he's not or she's not doing right now that we could start doing that would put them out of business? Now, you might not have to answer that, but this is the question I challenge people to is, what would you, how would you go about putting yourself out of business? If you want to just take your team across the road and go, hey, let's look back at our business and go, what would we need to build over here that would significantly compromise or put that other business out of business? Because here's what you're doing. When you're thinking about how to put yourself out of business, you're just putting your old way of doing business out of business. But when somebody else comes along and thinks about how to put you out of business, you're out of business.
Yeah, and if you don't do it before they do, you could be history.
Correct. And so what my other little Clarism is, are you waiting for some other organization or business to come rub your nose in a future you were destined to own, but just didn't do it?
Damn you, no.
But these are the, you remember our business evolution, so we talked about epic questions. These are the epic questions people must start asking today all around strategy. The amazing work that you do for people and, creating that exploration map and everything that you do, they got to have the answer to these other questions as to know what is that business that we would need to do. Buckminster Fuller, great quote, industrialist from way back in the 50s, I think, or 40s. He said that if you want things to change, you don't fight the existing reality. You create a new model that makes the old model obsolete.
Yeah.
Right. So you can choose to go make your own model obsolete. If you want to, I guarantee you every single business, every single industry is under threat today, whether you realize it or not. First thing is, if you don't realize it, I want to make you aware your business is under threat. The second thing is the person who's threatening your business is not the one you think it is. Because most people would think it's my competitor over there, my competitor over there. Some of the largest disruptions in the world we've had today, like Airbnb, Uber, Netflix, were not started by people in the industry. They were pissed off consumers. So when you're busy looking over, over here at who the people across the street are that you're competing with, somebody else is probably looking at who's upset about your industry or your business, is trying to come up with an idea, and that'll come in and it's kind of like what I said, it's like where they find the crack in it and they get in there and they crack the industry open. And that's what people are doing. And it's usually probably not somebody who's already in your industry.
Yeah.
Why couldn't it be you? And here's the last example I'll give you on that one so you can understand how that looks in context.
Yeah.
Is if the taxi companies had created the app that Uber has, Uber wouldn't exist today. Because all we wanted to know, Doyle, is where the hell our cab was and, what it was and where and who's coming and when they're going to pick us up. But they were regulated by government and protected, and they didn't think they needed to. And along comes somebody who just created a ride-sharing app. And all it did is it solved the problem that we were upset about, that the taxi companies either didn't think they needed to or didn't want to or weren't paying attention to. And if they just gone and created the app, I guarantee it wasn't pricing. Pricing was just a benefit we got after the fact. So what if you do that for your own business? What if you do that for your own industry, whatever that is for your industry, or wait for somebody else to do it and then compromise your market or your market share? It's your choice.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's an interesting story. I mean, but still, quite honestly, I don't think the taxi companies have actually done anything about it. They have these apps, but a lot of times they don't work, and you still can't. I still can't call a regular cab and say, when's the cab going to be here? Oh, between 20 past and 10 to. It's like, well, that's not good enough.
Yeah. I mean, the only time I catch a taxi these days is if it's at the airport, and depending on what ride sharing and price surging is, and it's sitting there. But like I said, but if they had created that, then they wouldn't even have this problem today. If they just thought about, hey, what's one thing that's really pissing off our consumers right now? And it's the fact that there's this. But they're going, we don't give a shit if we're pissing off our consumers, Doyle. We're regulated by government. There's nobody can touch us. We're untouchable. Yeah. We don't even have to have clean cabs. We don't even have to do waters and mints. We don't have to have driver ratings. Who gives a crap?
Yeah, all we have to do is what did they have? They had a whole bunch of demonstrations where they're blocking traffic. It's like, that's not helping your case, guys. You need to adapt.
Yeah, well, that's right. But they didn't think they needed to, right? And so then, because they got caught by that, then they said, well, that's not fair, because trailblazers end up with arrows in the backs, but they get the trail named after them. So everyone wants to be the next Uber, but Uber is getting arrows in their backs and everything for some valid reasons, some invalid reasons. But it's from people who are pissed off because you've turned my business upside down and I wasn't ready for it. And I didn't think I needed to. And I thought I was protected and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's an interesting story. Yeah.
So there's hundreds of examples of it, though.
Yeah.
Thousands.
So what do you think is going to be the cause of evolution for practitioners like yourself?
My industry?
Yeah. Your industry. What's going to disrupt that? I mean, that's a hard question, and don't need an answer, but
no, it's a great question. It's one we constantly ask ourselves, which is why we're looking at it's not so much practitioners or whatever. For us, we're just looking at what could come along and take significant market share away from us. What could threaten our business? What model could be produced? What application or anything like that could be created that would significantly compromise our ability to serve the clients and people we choose to. What would make us irrelevant? What would make us obscure? And that's the stuff that we're building our business evolution roadmap. I have it up on the other screen. Is the things that we need to do. And we've realized that we have to become a global community of purpose-driven leaders. We need to create a greater sense of community amongst all the people that we serve, because they're all great and we're all working with each of them as individuals and everything like that, but they're not leveraging the benefiting from each other and that collective power and feeling a part of a sense of community about the work we're doing. Very extremely loyal relationship with us and our clients, but we realize that we need to actually get them all working together. So it's one of the things that could happen to our industry.
Okay, but ultimately, I guess, is that disruptive though? It's just really saying that you need to build it more around a community, or build more community inside of it, build more human side into it.
That's one component. We're definitely looking at applications for us, and how do we make it easier for our clients to communicate with us, to access information and tools. We've created the Circle Leadership Toolbox. We've a whole bunch of things that we're doing. But once again, our disruption or our things comes from listening to our clients. We want to make sure that we're not ignoring the pain points, the small niggly things that annoy our clients and stuff like that, where someone could come along and just go, there's a crack there, let's get into that. Right? And so we're constantly listening to our clients. We do impact surveys every year. What's the impact we're having on them? I don't give a crap about client satisfaction and all that sort of stuff. I want to know client impact. What impact are we having on you, your life, your business? But I want to anticipate the future. What's happening in your industry? What's going on with your world? What's happening? Because if I know that, then I can know how they're going to be impacted. Yeah. And this is why anticipation for us is so, like, we value insight, which is to anticipate and act in advance. It's one of our core values at Circle Leadership.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you take sort of credence to the fact that you're always looking for these signals, right?
Yeah.
For yourself and for your customers and clients as well. And without kind of that turning on that radar to say, hey, we need to be aware of this. You're not in a very good spot, or you kind of get left behind, get washed out to sea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're fortunate enough in the work that we do. I can actually tell you where every single one of our clients wants to be in the next 3 years.
Yeah.
I know who they need to become as an organization and what world impact they want to have and all that. It's the work that we do with them. But if that's not the sort of work you do with your clients, but I would ask you, if you don't understand that longer term picture view of what your clients are on, how are you best to be of service to them? If you're only trying to service them today, how do you know what you're providing them today is actually going to help them get to where they want to go tomorrow?
Well, you have to know that. Yeah.
Well, you'd have to know that. That's why when talking about anticipating the future needs of your clients, well, go and then find out what's happening with their clients. And like, it's not a complicated thing. It's just people willing to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It can get fairly complicated, but I think, bringing your experience to the table really shows that, if you have these signals, if you're able to see what's going on, if you can kind of put on that radar, then you're much better, and not sacrificing today for tomorrow or tomorrow for today as well. So you really have to manage that. It's been a super conversation, Dave.
Thanks. I feel like it's been me spewing at the screen a little bit. I apologize.
No.
I got all fired up about this and I was really pumped.
Yeah, no, that's good. No, I appreciate that. It's great to always talk business with you as well. So hopefully we can do it again soon.
Mate, anytime. I would jump on a live with you any moment I got, mate. Love the work you're doing in the world, Doyle. And mate, congratulations on this. I've been watching a few of the earlier episodes while I've been working away on some stuff, but I've had it playing. Some amazing speakers. The whole concept is brilliant, mate.
Oh, thank you.
Totally love it. So kudos to you, and thank you to all the other speakers that I've had the privilege of listening to throughout the day today. It's been amazing.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I actually had your model here, but I can't seem to find it. But I'll find it, and then I'll make it for you, and then I'll send it over to you as well.
Oh, the tri thingy model.
Yeah, the tetrahedron model.
The tetrahedron.
Tetrahedron. Yeah, that's from math classes. Yeah, perfect. Excellent. Thanks so much, Dave. Right, really appreciate it. You're welcome to stay or jump off or whatever the case may be. But
I've got another thing to jump on now, so I apologize. Excellent. It's good to squeeze this in though, and thanks again, mate.
Thank you. I apprate that.
I'll probably jump back on a little bit later. How much longer is it going for?
I'm going till like 9:30, 10.
Jesus, so, it's like a marathon, mate.
It is a marathon. Yes, 24 speakers, and number 16, I think, is Tim Ellis.
Okay, Tim, I'm taking up your time. I'll let you go. It's all yours, mate. I'll hand you over.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, everyone, for your time and attention.
Yeah, appreciate it. All right. What a superstar. Thanks, Tim, for joining us.
You're very welcome, Joel. Nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. We're always running. Sorry?
I said, as Dave has just said, a bit of a marathon for you. It must be a bit bamboozling for you the whole day talking to people like this. So good on you. Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, it's long and we got a ways to go. But I wanted to. I put it all together. Then it's like, what did I get myself into? So it was like. Well, I'm impressed that you're managing to keep time, to be fair. So well done.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, if not, I'll just hit the plug, the on-off switch. No, we've gone over a few times, but I want to make sure that, I asked for 15 minutes. So we're going for usually 20-ish as well. Sure. So, no, thanks for joining. I'm just going to quickly show up my slide here and do a quick intro, and then we'll just keep rolling on as well. And at the end of this as well, we've got, I'll do a little kind of closing segment. And then if you want to stick around as well, that would be super appreciated. Okay. If not, that's totally fine too. So I know we all have places to be in and business to do as well. So, all right. So today we've got, we were just speaking with Dave Clare, who joined us all the way from Perth, Australia. And as I said before, we're almost neighbors in the global scale of things. So, so it was a quick and easy Zoom call. And now I'm back with Tim Ellis, who's joining us all the way from, what city in England are you from?
It's easy to say London, but actually I'm just north of London in a small market town called Berkhamsted in Hertfordshire.
Okay.
If you know the UK at all, then if I say Watford, I'm not far from Watford. So okay. If that helps.
Yes, that helps, but I don't know where that is. So I'll have to come visit you, Tim. And then we could have some beer in your local pub. So yes, so we're here with Tim Ellis. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So actually, what I'm going to say is, listening to Dave just now, Dave Clare, how I started all of this at Digital Transformation People was really to bring to the forefront people like Dave, who have all of this knowledge about digital transformation and strategy and change and all of these things that we are now engaging with. So digital transformation is a big thing, as we all know, and it's fairly much been thrust upon all of us. And there's a huge need for all of us to learn what it is, how we do it, what our role is as far as digital transformation is concerned. We find ourselves as digital transformation leaders within our organizations, but where do we look to actually learn how to do it properly? And there is a huge body of knowledge out there, people who are living this day to day, who are producing quality content and resources and putting it out through social media, LinkedIn and on their websites and everything else. But I find it astonishing that when you talk to people within corporate, often they're not aware of all of this amazing resource, which is freely available, golden nuggets of information and knowledge that are sitting in amongst a sea of noise. And so my goal really is to make that visible to people who need it in the context of their own digital transformations and the work that they're trying to do.
No, that's really cool. Yeah. If you're so you're kind of you're like a connector, connecting sort of those skilled expertise to kind of the industry need. Is that?
Yeah. So what we started doing early on was we created a website which effectively became like a giant blog from contributors, people like you. In fact, you've written a number of articles for us that we put out onto, we put out and we organized around key areas around digital transformation. So what is it? Work on strategy and innovation and scaling innovation, lots of different topics on a sort of giant blog, which drove traffic onto the platform. And then what we were looking to do was really help people discover, if they're interested in a particular topic, to discover more articles that would help them, and thereby discover the people who produce the articles and find the products and services that they might need to help themselves deliver on digital transformation, including talent, which is where we've come from. So I ran a recruitment business for a number of years, so there was a talent aspect as well. But principally the goal was to create a marketplace for digital transformation products and services around a hub of content, quality content. That sort of evolved a little bit into more of a community and learning environment that I've now set up actually on a platform called Circle, coincidentally. Yeah. So and again, it's curated content. It's not necessarily published on our platform, but it's content that we curate and guide people to within a community environment. That's an environment where we can manage that content, bring people on so that they can discover that content. And very often people who are sort of thrust into digital transformation don't know what it is that they don't know. So it's initially to help them orientate themselves. So what is digital transformation? What are the key topics that I, as a leader or as a functional leader in an organization, what do I need to be aware of that I'm otherwise not aware of? I mean, I don't need to know everything about platforms and ecosystems. I don't need in-depth knowledge about innovation, but I need to know what they are, why they're important, how they might impact my business, and how I need to build that into how we take the business forward. So there's a lot of content organized like that people can kind of get themselves orientated and then dig deeper into particular topics. And very often we'll send them off again to go and get involved with people who are much more deeply involved in specific topics. Our role is really at sort of awareness level. And really ideally to provide them with an environment where they can meet each other and engage with the people who are producing the content. So that's where we are at the moment.
Excellent. No, that's yeah, it's pretty good. I've been on the Circle group, and it's growing up to be quite nice, and there's a lot of resources there as well. Do one of the things that we were talking about earlier and throughout the day is kind of seeing these signals and that sort of thing, kind of knowing what to do and when to do it and that sort of thing. Do you I don't know, just curious, like how do you sort of guide your strategy? Do you sit down with the partners and with the clients kind of thing? Like how do you actually gather knowledge of the industry, or is it just kind of a spur of the moment, see the cuff kind of stuff? Or do you do some formal, like, oh, okay, the industry's heading this way, we should be doing this, or you should be doing that kind of thing?
You talking about our own strategy or the strategy
of your own, right? Of you being the resource, right? Like you're putting these pieces together for others, right? You're connecting the consultants with the organizations.
So it's really like it's learning curve, and I think like with all industry, all businesses, the principal thing is around empathetic leadership and listening to both the market and also to the people within your business, so that you're picking up on the signals. And I think Dave was talking about in terms of what's changing. So from our perspective, it's feedback in terms of how people are engaging with the content that's there. Are they consuming it? Are they engaging? Are we providing an environment where they seem to be getting value? So we look at metrics like, are they coming back? Are they posting? Are they liking? Standard stuff in terms of sort of a content platform. I think where we've got to at the moment is that there is an appetite for it. People do like the idea of jumping onto a platform that has a lot of knowledge. The feedback that I'm getting at the moment is perhaps there's too much knowledge and we need to get more engagement, people speaking to each other. So we're looking at creating spaces where people can have situations like this where they can talk and share across industry. The positive thing is that we've had a lot of positive feedback from the likes of IMD Business School, for example, who are referring their executive education students onto the platform. So Didier Bonnet and Michael Wade, who are both professors at IMD, feature on the platform in terms of their content, but they also introduce their students, which is great for us because you probably noticed it on LinkedIn and elsewhere that very often there's a lot of great conversation and learning around key aspects of digital transformation, but very often the people who are participating in those conversations are on the supply side. So they're involved because they are effectively raising their profile, and they have a lot to give, but I don't think they're always reaching the people who could benefit the most, because the LinkedIn algorithm hasn't yet discovered that these people who have recently found themselves thrust into digital transformation need to know this stuff. So they're reading stuff that's put in front of them, which is maybe not answering the questions that they have. Same on Google as well. If you don't know what you don't know, then you're not asking the right questions. And if you do ask the questions, you'll get the stuff that's been paid for. So you'll get Capgemini and Deloitte and Forbes and all of those, but you won't get the sort of granular conversations that people are actually working in the industry, the nuggets that people are discovering. Again, with as an example with Dave and the conversations he's having with his clients, that's invaluable because he's collating that information, taking it on to his next client, all of that learning in terms of the process of discovering your strategy, executing on your strategy, case studies in terms of how something was discovered. And very often it's not that somebody has sat in the room and we've had a brainstorming session and we've come up with a solution. Very often it's circumstance and things have come together and somebody makes something work because they've tried something and it kind of, it takes off. I heard Rita McGrath talking about Dollar Shave and Gillette. And the Dollar Shave situation, which is a fantastic model, basically selling razors to people direct to consumer, which is great. But it's not that they didn't set out to do that. What happened was that somebody had sourced a lot of razors over from China and was thinking, what are we going to do with these razors? How are we going to sell them? Having over some beers with a friend, they were talking about it, and we said, well, why don't we just sell them direct online? Because now we can. That's the shift that's happened. So suddenly you can take a razor you used to buying in a retail outlet. Now you can sell it online, direct to consumer. The advertising is now cheap or free. You can stick it on YouTube. So they were famous for their YouTube video that went viral. So they had all of that. And they removed a lot of pain points for customers who buying razors are very often they're under security. You have to ask somebody to unlock it to take out the razors. So what a pain that is.
Just crazy.
Yeah, and it's the perfect subscription model or repeat business model because everybody goes out and buys the same razors again. So, and that was kind of serendipity, but enabled by circumstance, which is why you need to be open to your environment, what's going on around you. Hence the empathy and listening within the organization. And obviously the other important thing is around enabling and listening for feedback in terms of how you're doing. So in terms of innovation, it's and I've learned this probably the hard way, is it's the validation is far more important than the idea. Ideas are to a penny. It's actually discovering whether what you're doing is resonating with customers, whether it's something they will pay you for. So you need to validate that and know when to stop doing what you're doing, or to do more of something, or tweak and refine. And I think that's happening across at every level within organizations. So the people within your organization, it's constantly learning and being open to learning and open to sharing how they see things. So the people who are dealing with your customers on a day-to-day basis, what are their insights? So again, Rita McGrath talks about being aware of what's going on at the edge. She says the snow melts from the edge. That's where you begin to get the signals of things are beginning to change. So TikTok's probably an example of that. I think they with TikTok, they were a failed music video service initially, and they've come on to be this huge thing, which is now threatening even Facebook. Oh. Anyway, I'm rambling. So why don't you ask me a question?
No, it was good. I like what you said about the edge of the snow is where it melts. Because I'm thinking, like, I grew up in snow, and that's typically where it goes. So understanding that transition point is super key. But I guess what I've kind of struggled with too is being able to see these things and see these signals. And sometimes they're very obscure, and it's not like it's a stop sign or a yield sign or a direction sign. How do you kind of discover that this is a signal or this is just noise? Is there a way that you use, or I'm just curious how you think?
Well, firstly, Doyle, I'm probably not an expert on this stuff. So I'm learning, same as everybody else. What I am doing is consuming the content that I curate for others. So, I mean, it's a learning curve in terms of what are people actually doing. And sometimes for me, it's difficult to see what they're actually doing. And we obviously have our tools in terms of, you can get your head into Google Analytics, or you can try and get the analytics out of the community platform. It's not always easy to do that. So you've got to be quite fine about what's actually happening and why is it happening. And I think that the sort of the key learning, anybody involved in this, is get out and talk to your customers. Because you can analyze your data, you can make assumptions, and you can put a lot of resources into doing different things. But fundamentally, the real insight comes from talking to your customers. What are they really experiencing? Why are they there? Why they're not there anymore? And there's an art in that. It's you've got to be careful about how you ask questions. What problems are they trying to solve? So rather than present them with a solution, and ask them, if I've done this, would you, if I did this, would you pay for it? Yes, of course I would. Well, the proof is in the pudding, and whether they do actually pay for it. And so that question is not a test. So you've got to talk to customers in ways so you uncover whatever the problems that they're facing are, and then you go away and design your solution and see whether they actually engage in that solution. It's the if you heard of the jobs to be done as a term, it's getting potential customers jobs to be done.
Okay. So understanding how you can create that job for that company, is that what you mean?
No, it's understanding from your customer's perspective what it is that they're trying to achieve.
Okay.
So where are their pain points on a day-to-day basis? What is it they're trying to do? So you were talking about Uber a second ago. So the job to be done is really just to make it a more seamless experience, to be informed as to when the cab's going to make it easy to get a cab, know when the cab's going to come, make the payment easy when you're in the cab because you already have the account, know that you can trust the person that's taking you from A to B. They're all really their needs from a customer perspective. Their jobs to be done, and they're delivering on those. That's why people are using it.
Yeah. Excellent. No, thank you. Just to wrap up, just two quick questions. What is the one thing you're going to stop doing in 2023, and what's on the other side? What is the one thing that you want to get done in 2023?
Stop doing. Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do first off, which is
sure.
I'm trying to take what we have and get people more engaged by providing them with an opportunity to speak to each other. That's the feedback that I've taken from the people that we've got on the platform. So I'm going to be doing more of that. I'm looking at creating more of a sort of coach hub for digital transformation type environment. In terms of what I'm going to stop doing, probably again, it's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and talk to more customers. I think I've spent a lot of time putting out a lot of content, and probably not enough time getting enough feedback from the people who are consuming it. So I'm going to stop putting out quite as much content and do more listening to people in terms of what content they really want, and help them really create their own content through discussion with each other. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, fantastic. No, that's good. Well, that kind of sets the stage as well for, refining the business and making it much more productive and crafting a different strategy, piece by piece by piece. It's been a wonderful discussion, Tim. I really appreciate you taking the time to join me and to share your thoughts as well.
Well, thanks for inviting me, Doyle, and good luck with what you're doing. It's really good. It's really good. So I'll stick on for a little while longer. And
yeah, no, excellent. Thank you. We've got Mark Jarrett coming up at the hour, and then from England, and then Trevor Nell from South Africa. So we're continuing to span the world as well. Do you know Mark Jarrett? He's the WhatsApp guy. He's got like 200 WhatsApp group. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, no, thanks, Tim. I really appreciate your time. I'm just going to do a quick closing segment, and then I'm going to reset everything, stop the recording and stop the live as well. So if you want to drop into the background or come back later, more than welcome to as well. So again, thank you so much for being my guest. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me and talk about your ideas as well and insights.
You're welcome, Doyle. Thank you.
Yeah. Excellent. So just to close this session off, thanks to everybody who's watching. Thank you for the questions as well. And your comments also, really keep them coming. I'll try to respond to them as quickly as possible. I'm trying to type while people are talking, and those are actually my notes about the cool insights that everybody is laying down. So I want to make sure that I've been able to record some of that. So if you are waiting for an answer to a question, I'll probably have to go back into the comments and answer those as we get into it as well. So thank you very much for watching on the live stream. I want to thank Tim Ellis for continuing to kind of talk to me, and we've had a lot of discussions over the years as well, and they've always been fascinating. And I've always learned a lot from Tim and what he's doing in transformation too. Even though you say that you're not an expert, I think you are.
Thank you. Doyle, if you'd like, I can drop into the chat and give people a link if they want to jump on and have a look and have a play. They're very welcome. I suspect this audience, it might be relevant. So if you'd like me to do that, I can do that.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. I don't I haven't had time to look specifically, but yeah, you're more than welcome. Like, do you mean the chat here or in Zoom?
I'll put it in.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, yeah, put your information in, and I'll copy that over to the live stream as well. Perfect. Oh, thank you.
Good stuff.
That's fantastic. I'll grab that and put it into the live stream recording on LinkedIn and Facebook and everywhere else. So excellent. So I'm just going to close out here. I want to quickly show you a few things as we get into this. All right, so we're closing in on the hour, and before we start the new session, just a quick little summary of where things are at. So thanks everybody for joining the grand opening of strategystorming.co. Basically, I wanted to create a platform, a place where people could come to learn how to do better strategy. And I think that's one of the points that a lot of people have said is we need to really kind of understand the problems. We need to understand the challenges. We need to be able to see these as signals as well. And if we're able to do that, then guess what? We can have better solutions. We can use, the tools of yesterday don't actually work anymore. So we have to be able to decide what are those new tools that we want to be able to work with as well. And ultimately changing how we rethink, reinvent, and reimagine how to do better business as well. So coming up in a couple minutes, I got Mark Jarrett, who's founder of like 200 plus WhatsApp groups. They keep on growing. So we're going to get an answer from him on in terms of how many WhatsApp groups he actually has. Then we have Trevor Nell coming all the way from South Africa, talking about Wisdom's 1, 2, 3 and some of the cool and innovative community type projects that they're developing around the world as well. We've had an amazing sessions We're getting down the list here. We just spoke with Tim Ellis. That's the end of page 2. All right. Hey, so we're like two-thirds of the way done. The cool thing about this is that it's really been fun, and I smile every time I look at this, because it's like, I'm so excited that I was able to actually talk with all these people in one day. Right. And they're from all around the world. They've taken out a half hour of their time or longer if they kind of stuck around for the other sessions. But that to me has been so impressive. So I really want to thank everybody who's joined me so far, and the people yet to join me as well. It's been an exciting journey, and it makes me smile seeing all these people. One of the guests earlier, Andrew Griffith, said if he can smile when he looks at his calendar, he knows it's a good day. So I've said that a few times so far, but just because it's had a huge impact on me, because it's like, there's a lot of great people here. So thank you, everybody, and looking forward to continuing the conversation as well. So what we want to do is just quickly go through the strategystorming.co as well. Basically, if you go to the website, I've got a whole bunch of prizes, and I'm going to hopefully, I've got a few minutes, so I'm going to be able to go into some of those. I've got a stack of books as well from Andrew Griffiths, from Dave Clare, who just spoke with us. From this guy who's, I heard, was ridiculously good looking and super smart, but I might be kidding, might be lying. Daniel Priestley, he's got a new book coming out called Score Up, I think it is. Michael Haynes, he was on the program earlier. Listen, Innovate, Grow, Social Selling. Actually, Timothy Hughes is coming on the show actually in a little bit, in I think maybe an hour or so. We've got his new book. We're going to be giving away his new book. This is the older version. Andrew Griffiths as well. He's got a massive lot of books. So I'm giving all those away as well. So if you register, you'll be entered. If you go to strategystorming.co, you'll actually be eligible for a few other prizes as well. And what do we got in store? We've got the 3D pair of 3D glasses. These are like your bullshit detectors, right? To be able to see through buildings and tall buildings and that sort of thing. But no, they're actually just for fun. It's to be able to see your 3D models that I've talked a little bit about. But no, actually, it's just for fun. We want to do business seriously, but we also want to have a little bit of fun for it. So everybody who registers, I'm going to mail you out a pair of those as well. And what's also coming up is the Easy Strategy Lab Coat. And one of the things I like to talk about is being able to put on that lab coat when you went into the chemistry lab, like when you put on that lab coat, like you really felt like, I'm here to do a job. And I think this is really important. So it's active wear for the creative strategist as well. You can win that. Just go to strategystorming.co, and there'll be a little pop-up menu that shows up, and you can enter to win that, as well as a few other prizes as well. So really looking forward to that. One thing I'd love you to go and do is actually see what type of strategic thinker you are. And I have the neuromarketing advantage of strategy. So discovering what I call the strategic dynamics of strategy, and discover what style of strategic thinker you are, right? There's 9 different types. There's creator, innovator, learner, and a bunch of others as well that help you kind of define that where your sweet spot is, and what's really important and what's not so important as well. And it gives you analysis. You go through about 12 questions, and then out pops an answer what profile would best fit you as well. So there's a QR code there. Just point your camera at that, and it'll actually pop up the web page as well for that. What else we got going on? So after that, we've got the grand opening studio and shop sale at strategystorming.co. So there's a whole bunch of workshops. There's some tools. I'm going to be adding tools as well regularly. We have the Stratahedron, the AMPS model, which I'll get to very, very shortly, where you can actually create specific business models and use these, or even as problem solving tetrahedrons, to be able to see, okay, what's really important and how do we prioritize this as well. We have some prizes from bravestorming.com. Alex Sum came through earlier today, and it's a really cool magnetic board, and they have these mover magnets that you can actually, they're erasable magnets that you can write on things, and he's got this whole kit. So there's going to be a whole prize pack from that as well, and we created some templates that are available on the website as well. So 20% off everything on the shop until Hallows Eve on 31st of October as well. Just enter Grand Opening 20. We have the 2022 strategy survey. So I like to, see what signals are out there too, and everybody else in the industry also. So I have my annual strategy survey where we go through and ask specific questions about what are you seeing differently? What are you, what are you understanding? What does the future look like? What does the present look like? That sort of thing. So it's really about how do we then use this information as signals to be able to make better decisions as well. So I'd really love your thoughts and feedback on that. Tell me what you think. Go to bit.ly/strategy survey 2022, or again, just point your mobile phone at the QR code and it'll pop up. It is a little bit longer. There's about 20 questions, but it should take you about 5 minutes as well. And we'll get some really great insights that we'll be able to share with you also at the same time. So the last thing is one of the big gifts that I'm giving away. Everybody will get a PDF copy of the book who registered, but also you can go to the website, and I'm giving this away. It's a strategy canvas worksheet, and what it does is it allows us to be able to walk through this AMPS model, this triangular tetrahedron model, and see the different elements that are part of this and understand how they fit together. And in this case, it's based on audience, method, process, and story. And we're actually going to walk you through this in a little workbook. This is for the digital download, so you can download this for free. You do need to enter that code Strategystorming-DDs for digital download. If you're thinking of anything else, it's a digital download. So you go through these steps, and you're able then to produce your model at the end as well. So as you create that, you come up with the ideas, brainstorming the ideas, and then you can fold it into the tetrahedron shape. And then this becomes your, one of your business models that you can be able to use, and you can demonstrate it. You can touch it, you can feel it, you can see it, right? It's the world's only digital strategy that allows you to do that without, putting it in a pile of papers or putting in a PowerPoint that you never see, or piles of paper rather that eventually just kind of get filed and we don't see them. So it makes your strategy very interactive. It makes it very tactile, which I think is really important for this day and age. So anyway, that's the little workbook that you can download for free if you use that code as well. And that's about it. So I'm going to shut off this session. Thanks for joining. We're going to start a new session live coming up in just a matter of moments once I do the reset on everything here. So thanks for joining, everybody, and we'll see you in a couple of minutes.